And now, it is my honor and privilege to bring back onto the line Nando Rodriguez. He is a breakthrough coach in New York City, transforming celebrities, influencers, and creatives' lives through individual and group coaching sessions, causing breakthroughs and smashing limited beliefs. He's trained to leave people with a new access of performance using new technology based on neuroscience, which is NLP or neuro-linguistic programming and ontology. And this methodology is designed to empower people's natural ability of self-discovery to consistently produce breakthrough results. He helps his clients transform their mindset, their actions, and their lives. And you can find more about him at nandoism.com. That is his website. And you can also find him on Instagram at nandoism and find him on YouTube because he puts out really, really great video content. Nando Rodriguez, welcome back to 10-Minute Mindset, my friend.
Thank you so much. I guess I must have done very well yesterday to be asked back, yeah?
You got the return invite. You're all good. You're in the
Nice.
club now.
All right. I'll be waiting for my membership jacket.
That's it. Members only, right? And it's
Yeah.
all about the being. That's what we talked about yesterday. And I love that. The being, doing, having. I think it's just such a great progression, and it's something you can really look at. So let's talk a little bit about, knowing you have those 12 disruptors that you touched on yesterday that you found that you had in your own life that really led you from where you were to being happy and turned you into this coach, into Nando the coach, the breakthrough coach. And so let's talk about how do people know when they need a breakthrough coach? How does someone know when it's right to contact you and to have those conversations?
That is such a great question, because in my own life, before I was let go, which led me on this journey, I thought that life was good, right? And what you discover is life can always be better. Not in a hustle bustle kind of way, but just like more freedom, more ease, more abundance, right? And so what happens is when someone actually is like, no, 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 my life is good, a lot of the times, like 8 times out of 10, that person is so resigned, they don't even know how things could be better because they're just used to the status quo. They're used to the crappy job. They're used to the not having a purpose in life. They're used to relationships going wah wah, right? And so your question is, how do you know? You have to have some level of, could things be better? If you ask that in any area of your life, then bam, the answer is yes. Get a coach, get a breakthrough coach.
Or the other thing I think of is if someone's saying, it'd be nice if I had this, or it'd be nice if I could do this, because our capacity as human beings, we don't even understand it. It's so huge. There's so much that we're capable of that we can do. And if you don't believe that to be the case, just look at 2,000 years ago where our civilization is, and today we can have video conferences and talk to people like you're in New York, I'm in Pittsburgh, but it's like we're in the same room. I mean, the way things are going and the way things move so rapidly, and then you're going to have, AI coming up and all of this stuff. It's incredible. So the human capacity is so big. So if you ever have that thought of, I wonder what things would be like if this, or I wonder if I could do this, or if I had the opportunity, I think that's a great starting point to say, okay, what's the next step? Because it is possible. It is a possibility. What do you think?
No, I think that's the perfect like aha sentence to have in your life, as well as some people do find themselves stuck in certain areas, right? And that's because what we tend to do is we tend to bring into the future all the past, right? So I'd mentioned yesterday how I was let go from my job. And so immediately step one for me was go on LinkedIn, go and look for jobs that were exactly the same as what I was doing before, just a different company, right? Same stuff, different day, different company, same thing. And that's what it looks like when you continue to fill your future with your past. And I knew I didn't want to do that. I just didn't know what I was going to fill it up with. And that's what led me to get a coach to help me to be in discovery of that.
The big distinction I take from what you just said is don't fill your future with your past. And when you think about it, not our past. One of my favorite authors is Eckhart Tolle,
Yeah.
and one of the things he says in The Power of Now is, I don't talk about my past because I have very little use for it. And I thought that was beautiful. I mean, it's more, we talk about living in the present moment. We talk about being 100% in the now and have our attention where it is because that's all that's really real. I mean, even when the future comes, it's the present moment when it arrives. And so I think that that's such a brilliant thing to think about. Do you want more of what you've been doing? Or do you want to progress and get to that next level? And that's your forte, is helping people have that breakthrough. And so you don't go from where you are now to where you are now just in the future. You go from where you are now to a brand new reality that you actually want to create and you do intentionally.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? Because you said it. What we tend to do is we totally fill in the future with the past. And it's because no one's taught us any different. There's, when you're in school, it's all about create your resume and then you'll use that resume to get the next job and the next job. And there's a linear path to how we're told life is. And life is not linear at all. And once you get hip to the game, like that's the secret, right? That's like the big thing no one's telling you. Life is not linear. And if you think you are, then that's why you feel stuck. That's why you're always like, I wonder what would it be like to X, right? Because people that are living a non-linear life know that it's this, and they're creating breakthroughs in all those areas. And they're actually, like you said, they're actually creating a future fulfilled. And that's the most beautiful gift you can give yourself. And what I'll also assert is nobody teaches us how to do that. That's why you specifically go out and you find a coach that specializes in that, in order to help you on that journey, right? Because there's no like, here's your nonlinear education. It doesn't exist.
Mm. And so, what do you tell someone when they get stuck? Like you said, people get stuck, and a lot of the times, being stuck means you're stuck in the past because you know how things have been. And there's a little bit, even if you're suffering, even if it's not the way you want it, there's still a little bit of comfortability there, right? Because you know how to deal with it. You've dealt with it all these years. You can deal with it again, and so you feel comfortable. So how do you, even though the future can be brighter and it looks brighter, it still takes some faith to step out and do it. So how do you work with someone who says, look, I would like for that to happen, but this is just the way it's always been? How do you get
Right.
them to take that step in faith and really make stuff happen?
So I don't. That's the big breakthrough for me in that I had to create in my own coaching practice, because I don't work with just anyone. I can't convince you as your coach to do XYZ. You have to come to me already with like, tell me what to do. I'll do it, right? And that doesn't mean like my clients don't question. It's like, hey, that seems a little bit like off or whatever. I want that. I want them to use their mind and question, because this is new material. But I can't convince someone to take that leap or to say, just today I had somebody reached out to me on Instagram. Nando, I need some help. I'm using all my money to help family members dig them out of debt, and it's putting me in debt. And then I said to them, well, what would it take for you to not use your money for them and invest it in yourself? Well, I couldn't do that because then they would be broke. Okay, so then what do you think your solution is? And there was like a silence. There was a gap between communication. And finally they came back with like, oh, well, I guess I have to set more boundaries and not give my money away. See, if I would have said, this is what you need to do, they would have been resistant to it. But when you sit there and you actually think, why do I have to continue giving my money away and perpetrate, the situation more? There's a belief there. There's a belief that says, I got to give my money away to help them. No, you don't. You're just choosing to. And somehow that got created. I don't know when, I don't know where, but that got created. I'm giving my money to this person now, right? And so I can't tell people what to do. They have to come already wanting to do that. And that's one way of doing it, is like, okay, so then what would you do? Right? Presenting it in a new way where they're just like really left outside of themselves. Does that land?
Yeah, and what's really great about what you just said, and this is what I take from that, and I'll let you build on this. I think that most of us, we think we need the answers, so we're always searching for the answer. Like that example that you just gave. What now? I'm becoming in financial debt. What do I do? What's the answer? But it's not the answer. It's the question. Because I think that we all have the answers. We just haven't been asked or asked ourselves the right question to get to that point? What do you think? How's that make you feel?
Totally. Like I think Tony Robbins says it's like your quality of life depends on the quality of questions that you're asking, right? I totally believe in that. And you're right. It's not necessarily if I hand answers out like candy, you go, it's like that's not gonna work. That's not gonna create breakthrough, right? And that's not what I'm committed to as a coach. I'm not committed to that. What I am committed to is having my clients have all these type of discoveries. This is what I tell them. I am here to lead you on a path of discovery, right? And so a lot of them look at me like, what? And so this is how I explain it to them. When a baby is learning to walk, no one has to sit there and explain to the baby, this is what balance is. Let me sit you down and give you a PowerPoint presentation. Baby gets it. And when the baby gets balance, life is transformed just like that, because that baby is now like independent. There's some freedom there, right? There's still some fear, but like no one has to explain or train the baby on how to get gravity, how to get balance. And that's a discovery. Once you discover something on your own, it becomes a part of you. And that's what I give my clients is I hold their hands as they're discovering whatever it is. And then once they discover it, boom, it becomes part of them, and that's where the transformation occurs.
That's why you're the breakthrough coach.
So I'm the breakthrough coach. And I have one more thing to add. People also feel like transformation is like this, like the cartoon Cinderella, where the fairy godmother waves and Cinderella goes from rags and this magic happens and now she's in a gap. Transformation can happen and can look like that, but the majority of the time, transformation is like these small things, like going from, oh, I don't have to give my money every week to my mom. I can keep some of it, invest some of it in myself. That's transformation happening right there. So people also have to be aware that transformation comes in all shapes and sizes, just like cucumbers.
Just like cucumbers and pickles, which are made from cucumbers. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and the hair on your head as well. There's a lot going on there. I have to point that out. I'm so jealous of that. That's why I have to point it out again, because you have this style and this look, and it's like, man, I don't even have the option to do that.
Well, thank you.
I need a breakthrough. I need a breakthrough in that area.
I appreciate that. I've been honing in on this look for quite a while. And, I'll be very honest with you, Mario. Part of the transformation was actually going from liking to actually like adoring myself. Not in the mirror on the wall kind of way, but literally like being comfortable with you saying, oh, your hair or your look or whatever. Because there was a point in time where that just wasn't my reality. I would either diffuse, deflect, and be like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. And now I'm able to like relish in the acknowledgement and not be, arrogant about it, right?
If that makes sense. That's a huge distinction.
Yeah.
You have to love yourself. You have to be your own best friend. And, once you get that, and once you get to that point like where you are, you're a great example of that. You can take that kind of those compliments. Because I always say you have to be able to give freely, but you also have to be able to receive graciously. And that's because that completes the cycle. It's a cycle. Giving and receiving is a cycle. A lot of people can give because we're always taught give, 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 give. But in order for giving to occur, someone on the other side has to receive. And you have to be able to do it graciously. And when you can do that, then magic happens. But but in all seriousness, I do love your hair, and I wish I had the opportunity to do something like that. So I'm not just saying that. I do really love it and admire it. So as someone who, I think I pull off the bald look pretty well. We talked about that, and so I'm thankful for that. But options are always fun. So
you do, because I could not pull off the bald look at all. I've got bumps in the back, and it's not my look.
There are no accidents. So when God made me bald, he or she did it for a reason, and allowed me to pull off the look.
Amazing eyebrows to complement the baldness. I told you about that.
Yes, you did. So I am thankful for that, and I'm okay with it. But Nando, thank you so much for being here. The last 2 days, I've learned so much. I always love our conversations. I want to remind people to find you at nandoism.com, follow you on Instagram at nandoism, and to also check you out on YouTube where they can get your videos and get all the great content, and to reach out to you via your website if they need a breakthrough in their life. So Nando, thank you so much, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon, my friend.
All right. I will see you around the Twitterverse and Instagramverse.
Yes, you will. And I want to remind everyone to visit us, 10minutemindset.com, join the Facebook group, subscribe to the podcast, and we'll talk to you tomorrow on a brand new 10-Minute Mindset.